I was in upstate New York in a small town, and I was standing in front of a drugstore. And in the window of the drugstore, they had a wheelchair on display in the window. Is that really an impulse purchase? I should get a wheelchair. That would really help with my paralysis. Then I wouldn't have to drag myself everywhere I go, like I've been doing for 10 years since my legs were blown off at the marathon. Okay. Bunch of hypocrites, apparently. Because, let me point some out to you. Let me point some out to you, motherfuckers. You were just, like, seconds ago, laughing at a man with no legs crawling on the ground. You're just... And then at the end, you're like, oh, but not those particular legless people. No. We thought you meant just some with a childhood disease who deserves to be laughed at. Not one of those. Now we're laughing at all legless people equally. However you lost your legs. Ha ha ha. You haven't legs. And we've legs. I have legs. I have 2 legs. 2 legs. That's the maximum amount. I love having 2 legs. I love it. I wouldn't like having no legs. I really don't think I would like it. I think it would suck. I think it would out of the balls of Christ. It's an old Southern expression. It's not used like it used to be. I think 2 legs is better than none. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. It's not popular. You're not supposed to say that because you're supposed to always be very positive about disabled people. But I think that puts pressure on them to be positive. What if they don't want to be? Because the only story we want to hear is about the amazing disabled people. He's amazing. He lost his legs and then he won the leg-having contest. What about disabled people who aren't amazing? Who are just ordinary with a sweatshirt and some potato chips, and he's going, fuck, I wish I had legs. No, this is better. This is better with no legs. Why is it better? Because you can do anything now. I can do 4 things. Fuck off. I just don't know that our positive, non-disabled attitude really helps. Like retarded people. We're going to talk about retarded people for 20 minutes. That's what's going to happen. We're going to discuss retarded people for 20 minutes. It's not okay to never speak of them. No, we're going to talk about them. First of all, I want to talk about the word retarded, okay? Because the word retarded, it's a bad word, and people do not like the word retarded. They find it very offensive. Now, I'm a little confused by this, because it wasn't always a bad word. And I grew up in the 70s, and it wasn't bad back then. And most bad words were always bad. You know, cunt never had a day in the sun. There was never a time where the Santa Claus at the mall was like, come here, you little cunt, tell me what you want for Christmas. And then in the 90s, we're like, let's lay off a cunt a little bit there, gang. No, we used the word retarded in the 70s. We used it to identify people who were retarded. It wasn't controversial. It wasn't like he's retarded. It was like he is retarded. This fellow right here is retarded, right? I told you, yes, you're still retarded. He is retarded, everyone. And I grew up in Boston. We didn't say retarded in Boston. We said retarded. He's retarded. God bless him, he's f***ing retarded. That's the way we used it. with love. Help the retarded. That's what people said in the 70s. Help the retarded. There was a lady outside the supermarket near my house every Christmas with a bell. She was like, help the retarded. Help the retarded. You gonna tell me she was a bad person? She was helping the retarded. And I feel like we had more of them around back then. I haven't seen one in years. In the 70s, there was a retarded guy in a windbreaker on every street corner. We were using the word and they were more in our lives. I swear to God, they were more. They were in our culture. There was TV movies about retarded people all the time. Tonight on ABC, a retarded boy's dream. There was one, I remember with Sean Cassidy. I don't know if you remember Sean Cassidy. Some of you too young. But Sean Cassidy, he began his career as a teen pop idol. He was a 13-year-old boy with a very hit song called Da Do Run Run. And he had feathered blonde hair and juicy lips. And he's on the cover of Teen Beat magazine. And everybody liked Sean Cassidy because he was sexy. He's a sexy boy. I thought he was sexy. I did. I thought he was really sexy. I was 6 years old. But I already had inappropriate sex feelings for teenage boys when I was 6. I was an old soul. I was a pedophile when I was 6. I used to go up to teenage boys when I was 6, like, hey, how's it going? That kid's weird, he's got a boner. Anyway. Not anymore, I outgrew it, but no. I'm not sexually attracted to teenage boys. I'm not. But I don't not get it. I mean, I get it. I'm not like, what? Like, you can see it. Like, I was in an airport once, and I'm walking along where people walk in the airport, and there's these chairs facing the aisle, and there's this family sitting there, a mom and a dad and 2 teenage boys. And they're like just both sitting with their phones with their legs. They're wearing like these shorts. One had cut-off shorts and one had basketball shorts. And they both just had their legs open because they don't give a f***. Both legs just splayed. And then just smooth, you know, just very and I saw it. It didn't do anything to me. But I kind of wanted to stop and go, hey, fellas, let's close that up, huh? You're not getting me, but I know you're causing a problem for somebody in this airport. Let's close it up. I did not say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Anyway, let's return to the comfortable subject of retarded people, shall we? So, Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy was a teen singer who then grew up. He was about 18. Now he was, old and gross. Nobody wanted to f*** him. So he started to act. And he had a movie on TV called Normal People, where he played a retarded man who wants to live a normal life. It was very inspiring, actually. And at one point, he didn't do like a big retarded character. He wore thick glasses. He talked like Elmer Fudd. That was the whole thing. So he goes up to the guy who runs the group home he lives in, and he says, I want to get a job. And the guys who runs it is like, Republican conservative. So he's like, you can't get a job, you're retarded, And, but then there's a liberal lady who works there, and she says, of course he can get a job. He's as good as anyone. So they let him get a job as an air traffic controller, whatever was available. And then he meets a woman who's also retarded who lives at the group home. He falls in love with her. It's a very nice love story. And he says, we want to get married. And the guy says, she says, but they're in love. So they get married. And then one day he says, we want to have a baby. And the liberal lady says, no way. And they just shut them down right there. And that's the end of the movie. I swear to God, that's just how it ends. And the point of the movie is just, hey, there's a limit. Like, that's, I guess, what the point of it was. And that's pretty intense. But hey, retarded people were on television. We were talking about it. We were dealing with it. And they said the word retarded about 50,000 times in the movie. Now we don't say the word, and I don't see them anywhere. I guess that's my problem with it. And also, the word is not basically a bad word. It's a medical term. But it became a bad word because it's used as an insult, really. Not towards retarded people. Nobody does that. Nobody calls retarded people retarded to insult them. What would be the point of that? It would be like going up to a chair and saying, "You're a chair." Like, what are you doing? No. People use it on their friends. Like, you're at a bar, your friend's like, "I don't have any more money for beer." And you're like, "You're retarded." Do you know that? And in that moment, no one retarded is insulted. They're not. Do you know why? Because they're not there. Because we don't include them in our lives. They're not at the bar. How many of you have a retarded drinking buddy that you hang out with? No, you take them to the zoo when they're little and then fuck them. This is what I find confusing about this thing, is that we told many generations of people that they are retarded. We told them that that's what they are, and they lived with it, and they dealt with it. And then we just decided it's a bad word. So did we tell them this? Did we go back to them and explain this to them? Listen, Nelson, I have something to tell you. You're not retarded anymore. You mean I'm cured? No. No. No, we're not even working on it. Something's changed when you get older, Like, I've reallocated some of the noises that I make. Like, the noise I used to make when I come is now the noise I make when I pee. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Take it all. Very disrespectful to my toilet. Unfortunately, yeah. You like that, don't you? I'm gonna in your mouth too, because you ain't nothing but a eating, piss drinking tell-it. Dumb tell-it. Got my piss on your lips. You ain't intelligent. What do? You sit there all day on your ass, waiting for me to in your face. Dumb tell-it. You ain't even special. I pissed in 3 toilets today. Quit crying. I love you. It's bad. That's how my dad treated his toilet, so that's where I learned it. Anyway, that's the noise I make when I pee. Some of you might be wondering, none of you are wondering, what noise do I make when I come? Okay, so this is the noise I make when I come. It's not that special. I just go like this. It is done! It's a whole thing with a cloud with funnels of... There are crows come and there's lightning. The circle is complete! And there's a little witch floating with white eyes. And a child will be born, and then... I don't know, it's kind of intense. And some kid throws a lightning bolt at me, and I go, and I go to sleep for 1,000 years. I mean, here's the bad news. You're going to die. But here's the good news. When you get closer, you're going to want to die. It doesn't keep being good. You don't get to keep your life the way it is. Like, I'm 55. Both hands hurt. Both hands. Both my hips hurt. I'm lucky I have only one hole. The whole body hurts. When you're like in your 30s, you don't even think about it. You're like, because here's like, there's the beginning of your life, and there's the end. So like, you start like in your like here by your 30s, you just shuffle. You don't even aware of this movement. You're just shuffling along. Hey, this life is good. It's pretty cool. And then somewhere you're kind of aware that way down there, people are falling off the edge. Oh, I don't know. It's weird. And then you're not thinking. Then all of a sudden you're close, and you're oh fuck, I knew that guy. Oh my god. Holy. But there are signs that your time is coming to an end, you know? Like they don't make my shampoo anymore. They don't make it. It's like, why'd you stop? Like, you're the only one. Nobody cares about you. And so I thought, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make my own shampoo. I'm gonna look it up online. I'm gonna look at the ingredients. I'm gonna make my own. And I found myself at a dinner telling a table full of people. So I decided to make my own shampoo. That's one of those moments where you tell yourself, just don't tell folks anything. You don't need to say it out loud. Just do what you're doing, die as soon as possible. Do I have a huge stain? Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. So what? Okay. No. Who's running? Oh, okay. I thought they were coming to bring me something. There's nothing you can do. You'd have to change my whole lifestyle for the rest of the show. It doesn't matter. I'm fat. I'm a fat guy. I'm fat. My pronouns are that fat and... But here's the thing, I have body dysmorphia. I think I look good. I like this. I'm fine with it. I decided to stop exercising. That's what I decided this year. I'm just not doing it anymore. I made it to 55. If I stop exercising now, it just means I might make 75 instead of 78. It's not that big a f***ing deal. I'm just not gonna do it. You know who inspired me? Was Trump. It's the one thing he said that I liked. I don't know if you ever heard this, but Trump believes, he just believes, nobody told him this, but he believes that you should move as little as possible. Because you have a finite amount of movements and then you stop. He believes that. He just went, yeah, that sounds right, and he just thought it up. And he's proving it to be true. I mean, it's working. I don't like the new exercise either. I don't like the Peloton, you know. It's a bike you ride and there's a video that encourages you. And they have that mirror that you stand there and it teaches you exercises. Then they have that gun you put in your mouth and you... Now, you shouldn't kill yourself. That's what I think. You should not kill yourself. That's my opinion. I don't know you. Ask somebody that knows you. But my general feeling is you shouldn't kill yourself. You know why? Because you're going to die anyway. You're going to die. What are you getting violent for? It's going to happen. I wish I was dead. You will be. Just sit there. You don't have to do anything. It really is the most effective argument against suicide, is that you're going to die either way. It also happens to be the best argument for suicide, which is awkward. Go ahead, you're going to die if you don't. Anyway, I think it's pretty amazing when you think about it. The people used to say that being gay was wrong. Pretty recently, folks used to, like most people used to say that being gay was wrong. Of course, it's not wrong to be gay. I mean, it's pretty gay, but it's not wrong. But that's what people used to say. And now nobody says that. And I think that's a positive change. I think that's a good thing. Although I do wonder if there are gay people who miss when it was wrong. Maybe there's a few who miss when it was, because wasn't it a little more fun when it was like, this is crazy? Like, didn't that give it a little zhuzh, a little, I could lose my job, oh, because now they're like everybody else, which is great, and they can get married. That's terrific. But is that fun to fuck your husband at your house? Wasn't it more fun to be in an old nightclub at 4 in the morning, like, I'm breaking my mother's heart? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't even mean just gay people. Just some people like when sex is a little up, you know? Some people like when sex is a little all right. No. All right, you want to talk about it? Should we talk about it? Yeah, all right. I don't mind talking about it. Okay. Here's what I'll give you some advice. Here's some advice that really only I can give you. Here's my advice. If you ever ask somebody, can I jerk off in front of you? Just let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Fuck. Okay. If you ever ask somebody, may I jerk off in front of you? And they say yes. Just say, are you sure? That's the first part. And then if they say yes, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Because look, whatever you're into, okay? Because everybody's got their thing. Whatever your thing is, I don't know. You all have your thing. I don't know what your thing is. You're so lucky that I don't know what your thing is. Do you understand how lucky you are that people don't know your thing? Because everybody knows my thing. Everybody knows my thing now. Obama knows my thing. Do you understand how that feels? To know that Obama was like, good Lord. Everybody in the world knows my thing. I got on an airplane in Italy. This little kid was like, Mama, that's the guy who jacked off in front of the people. So whatever your thing is, I don't know what it is. Maybe you can't come unless you have your father on speakerphone, whatever it is. If you want to do it with somebody else, you need to ask first. But if they say yes, you still don't get to just go, woo, and charge ahead. You got to check in often. I guess that's what I would say. Check in. Because it's not always clear how people feel. Like, men are taught to make sure the woman is okay. But the thing is, women know how to seem okay when they're not okay. So you can't just look at her face and be like, yeah, her eyes are dry, we're fine, let's just keep going. You got to check in. Because communication during sex can be very confusing. Like, sometimes you're with a woman, you're having sex, she's making noises, she's going like, ooh, ah, and you're like, oh, she loves it. Not necessarily. Sometimes they're making those noises just to get through it. Because it's easier to go, ooh, than to say, I hate how you f*** me. Honestly, it's awful. So she goes, ooh, baby. It's kind of like a Negro spiritual. It's sort of similar. So to assume that she likes it is like if they heard slaves singing in the fields and you're like, hey, they're having a great time out there. As far as my thing, I don't know what the fuck. People are like, why do you want to do it anyway? Okay, I don't know. I like jerking off. I don't like being alone. That's all I can tell you. I get lonely. Where is everyone? It's just sad. I like company. I like to share. I'm good at it, too. If you're good at juggling, you wouldn't do it alone in the dark. You would gather folks and amaze them. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that shit. I hate New York, I really do. I used to love New York, but I hate it now. I'd rather be in Auschwitz than New York City, honestly. I would. I mean Auschwitz now. I mean today Auschwitz. Not back when it was open. I mean, now. It's nice now. There's a gift shop. People go there on purpose. They buy tickets. I think that's weird. That people buy tickets to Auschwitz. That's weird. If you could have told those people back then, people are going to buy tickets to come here. Yeah, wrap your head around that. Jew. That's... All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, never again, I promise. That's what we say about the Holocaust, never again. Because they killed 6 million Jews. If they only killed like 10,000, would it be like, okay, 2 more times? And then taper off, because it's a little much. I'll tell you, I went to Auschwitz. This is a true story. I actually did go to Auschwitz because I was doing shows in Poland. Because I had to go to Poland to do shows. So I was in Krakow. So I went to the camp. And I went there because of a very personal reason. Because I had family there. I had a lot of family there. 44 members of my family were in Auschwitz during World War II. I mean, they were guards. They worked there. But no. They were Jews and they died. It's okay. Don't be offended. It's true. We lost the whole family there. Everybody, because we were Hungarian Jews. My grandfather, on my father's side, he's the only one who made it. The rest of them, all 44 of them, went to Auschwitz, which I think they really regretted. But that's what happened, because the Hungarians sent all their Jews to... They weren't even occupied Hungary. They're just like, yeah, take our Jews. And they sent my whole family there, and they all died in Auschwitz, except for him. My grandfather's the only one who made it, because he got the f*** out of there before it started. In the late 20s, he smelled that shit, and he got the f*** out. And he went to Mexico. He migrated to Mexico. And we found his immigration card. My uncle and I did the family history, and we found it. It says nationality, Hungarian, and it says religion, Catholic. And there's a picture of him like... He's like, fuck it, they don't know what a Jew looks like in Mexico. That's where I'm going. And that's why I'm alive, because he made that choice. It's also why I'm not Jewish. He was like, Jew schmoo, we're not Jewish. Somos católicas. That was my abuelito. Became a Mexican fast. That's what happened. That's how he made it. He's a fascinating guy, my grandfather. His name was Geza. That was his name. And he had a brother named Geza. It's weird, but I looked it up, and here's what happened. His parents had a baby, and they named it Geza, and it died. The baby died. So they had another one, and they just said, it, Geza, let's just do it again. Because that's what it was like. The babies died. It was no big deal back then. It was just like, yeah, that was a shitty baby. Let's do another one. Why'd your baby die? Because it sucked. Why does any baby die? At least we found out quick. It. This one's good. That's what it was like forever until recently. The human race was all the good babies, and the shitty ones, that's just the way it worked. It's not like that now. Now we save every baby. The bigger the baby, the bigger the effort. Because we love it. We love saving the shitty babies. There's always a documentary. Look at this baby. He's a mess. Do you see that? We're going to save it. Make it live. And the baby's like, please don't. But we don't like when babies die. We get more upset when a baby dies. Why? Who knows this baby? Did you hear about Jeff? No, he was here for 1 day. Nobody met him. And then if you die when you're old, nobody gives a shit. They're like, he was here long enough. Fuck him. You ever tell somebody, like, your grandmother died? My grandmother died. You're like, I'm so sorry. How old was she? She was 98. Oh. So why'd you even tell me?
Hey, changing gears, what do you think of Obama having the beer sit down? We're going to all be talking about this tonight on TV.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a mess that he got into by saying anything about a local thing. I mean, hey, that cop was so intelligent. I mean, that's what him over.
It really did.
If the cop hadn't said anything, it would have just gone away. But that cop just said, hey, and he even said, I support the president.
I support the president. He goes,
it's a local thing, and you shouldn't get, you don't know everything that happened. Every time something, it just shows that every time something happens when nobody was there, just a private moment between two people, then everyone's wrong. Absolutely everyone's wrong. No one should say a thing.
How do you
don't know you weren't there, and then nobody knows what the woman really said when she called him. Everything gets distorted because people bring their own thing. So when you start with something and then you become the president saying something,
well, the president
as definitive as that was stupid,
you should know better.
But it's because then nobody knows what it's like to be Barack Obama and Louis Gates Jr. If you're black, like here's the thing with Louis Gates Jr. The thing that white people have to keep in mind, because we have different timelines in our heads. Like white people often say, I've heard so many white people say, slavery was 400 years ago. It was 130 years ago. It was really recent. People say that. Hey, we started 400 years ago. Slavery began.
We kind of mopped up.
Yeah, we got a couple centuries in.
And also
hit the lights until about
130 years ago is when it really stopped. And also it didn't stop, and then things have been just awesome for black people since that. Like that's the last bad thing to happen to any black person was slavery 400 years ago. That's what we think. And since then, we've just been showering them with gifts since then. It ended officially 130 years ago, really continued for another 80. And then,
give or take.
The thing to remember is that if a black guy or a black woman has little gray hair at the temples, they lived in an America where they were legally barred from using certain bathrooms, where the country didn't let them use the bathroom. Keep your that was the official American law.
Right.
Was you can't pee anywhere you want. Coon. That's what it was like. And so you take that. So anybody that age remembers that and has had to live and go, okay, thank you for now letting me do what I should have always been able to do. Or you were raised by somebody. If anybody younger, a black person in their 30s or younger was raised by somebody who lived in an America like that.
Right.
So how do you Louis Gates Jr., he's the president of Harvard, and he sees a cop looking at him twice. He's like, what do I got to do? What the do I got to do? So if you're the president of Barack Obama, you got Louis Gates Jr. calling you on the phone and telling you and just screaming at you, and you're like, oh boy.
Because that's
guys Barack's age are raised, again, they're their parents. So for better or worse.
Which one, though? The white one or the black one?
Well, I mean, every black person is I mean, imagine what Barack gets from black people older than him. Okay, now that you're in there, you're going to apologize for, take down the Washington Monument. He's like, look, I can't take down the Washington.
Black.
Listen, I can't take it down. Paint the White House black. I can't. Look, small moves. Fuck you. I told you if you get in there, you're painting the White House black. Yes, I did. Look.
White House black.
Ugh. When he got the call from Louis Gates Jr., he rubbed his temples and went, oh, God. I gotta say something.
Speech coming up here. I gotta say something.
I gotta say,
say something.
And then he prefaces his
family
saying, "I wasn't there."
Yes,
but now let me talk like I was.
Yes,
and get into all kinds of trouble.
Exactly. So I think he made a mistake by saying something, but it's an understandable mistake on some level.
It turns out the cop
was that Stalker Patty on Maury just now?
Yeah.
Are they still running that?
Yeah.
That thing is
that episode's running today. If anybody wants to watch it.
That thing has been rerun probably 10 times. She talks about how she...
God bless you. All right, anyway, back to the president.
But what a great angle that I haven't heard from anyone yet about Obama and the he has to hear from people.
What he hears from older black generation.
That we never get to hear.
No, we have no idea what kind of pressure he has.
You gotta imagine those phone calls are pretty fucking brutal. Like,
you gotta say something.
Yeah, you gotta do this for all of us.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, and part of having a black president now, it is a major difference, is that you're gonna hear a perspective you're not used to hearing, that's all. And it's not always gonna be right. It's gonna be flawed from a black perspective. But it's just we have never...
We've never been.
Been in this situation.
Here's the only problem. I can wrap it up with people believe I am. People believe I'm just a horrific racist.
I don't think you are. I don't know.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah.
I'm not that
I think you're
horrific.
a delightful racist.
I'm very good. Now, here's the thing. I cannot stand the disproportionate amount of crime and violence in the black community amongst young black men. Mm-hmm. The disproportionate amount of violence, sheer brutal violence. And I'm not even talking just against, white folk. Black on black is amazing. It is amazing the willingness and quickness at which they will kill each other over nothing. And that, to me, separates. It's too separate. I can't relate to it. I don't know other people that can relate to it.
Did you ever live in like a black neighborhood?
Yes, I lived in Central Islip. I lived on Hawthorne Avenue, if you know where that is.
But were you in like a white enclave, or were you in a black neighborhood?
Nope. I was in a black neighborhood with a few white kids that were petrified for their lives on a daily basis going to school. There was this kid, I can't, Keith Green, his name was, and he'd come up to me and go, "Give me 50 cent. Give me 50 cent every day." And I'd have to give him 50 cent. or it was like, wham, you're getting whacked.
Fucking head roll. You have to give him 50
cent. And I was
it had to be 50. It literally wasn't 50. It was 50.
Yeah, and Danny put the picture of 50 up.
I think there's a 50. There's got to be a 50 cent piece at some point.
50 cent, give me 50 cent. And he'd look down at me like, give me 50 cent. Like with it, and I'd be petrified.
Sure.
I was so scared.
That's all he wanted was 50 cents.
Just 50
You're
cent.
like, I got $1. He's like, no,
50.
50.
Though, dude. So 50 cent was
with inflation. That's
was
probably
huge.
$10.
That was everything. That was lunch. That was hanging out, candy after school. Everything.
50 cent.
All that 50 cent was huge.
All that for 50 cent
back in the day.
Opie,
back in the day. But I don't like the excuse of
Coke and a Snickers.
That whole thing. Like the whole. All right, you're brought up in a black neighborhood. It's impoverished. It's this. It's that.
Well, I don't think it's that simple. I think. Well, I mean, I lived in Roxbury for a while in Massachusetts.
Yes, in a pleasant area.
Very nice. In the Parker Street project. I lived on Parker Street, next door to the Parker Street projects.
Wow.
My car was stolen while I was a girl. Like I was a girl in my apartment, and I heard glass, like that sound of car glass breaking, that safety glass, like outside the window, and I'm like, okay, that's right outside the window.
That's my car.
And then I hear the car starting. I'm like, that's my car.
Oh, jeez.
And I run out on the street and watch the car. I'm looking at the taillights of my car, and someone else is in it. And I go back and I call 911. Somebody stole my car. I can still hear it going down the Parker Street hill. And the guy goes, "You got to come in and fill out a report." And I go, fucking send somebody here.
Right.
He goes, "No, you have to come down to the precinct and fill out paperwork." And it's because I lived on the Parker Street projects, cops would not come there. They wouldn't come there. When I grew up in Newton, Massachusetts, there's cops circling our house like the president is having dinner there.
Wonderful.
Constant police surveillance.
Isn't that great?
Of rich neighborhoods. And Parker Street, my neighbors were lovely people who lived behind bars. It's like Ross Perot said in one of the debates. These people they put themselves in prison in order to protect themselves because cops won't go to these places and the city won't clean the streets.
Why?
Because they don't give a shit about those people. Yeah, because
it's not so much that they don't give a shit about those people. They fuck themselves by going in those neighborhoods. Cops put their lives and their careers.
It's not the specific police. It's what resources are allocated to what places. And rich neighborhoods get more resources allocated to them than poor neighborhoods, and because that's where the tax bases are.
The tax is also paying for that protection.
It's really poor on poor violence, and black people have a poor look to them because a lot of them are poor and they have been historically. So it is a cycle, I think, though. I think it's a cycle.
So there's nobody that can.
If you neglect a neighborhood, everybody will. People rob and kill their neighbors. That's what people do.
Yeah.
They don't go to other areas.
Oh no, I realize very rarely it does happen. But I'm saying yes. That's why I was saying black on black crime is amazing. You ever watch First 48, where they got to take the first 48 hours and investigate it, and in the end,
I love those shows.
It is always on this show. Not only like cops, where you get to see some white trailers parked trash, beating each other's senseless. This is all black guys killing other black guys.
Right.
The victim's black. The witnesses are black. The perp is black.
Why do you care about black on black crime, though?
I'm saying that is what makes this divide. Like, I've been poor. I lived in my car. I've been impoverished for many years. I wasn't able to afford food. I dug change out of, like, couch cushions. I lived on friends' couches until they...
Your friend's couch and you dig the change out?
Yeah, I dig the change out to try to buy, like, Hydrox cookies. I couldn't even get Oreos.
Wow.
Yeah, just to that. So I've been, like, in that situation, but I understand. I'm not black. I have lived the whole legacy of that.
But I don't think it's just... I just don't think it's that simple.
But I have no idea of that lifestyle where life is so worthless and violence is so prevalent, where the want for violence. Like, if I got in a fight with somebody and I punched them and they fell down, I would not then stomp their head until they're dead or in a coma in the hospital or something like that. But that seems to be what's going on.
Well, can I just make a distinction, though?
Please.
As far as where this conversation came from.
Yeah.
Louis Gates Jr. being arrested and getting cranky about it.
Oh, right.
and that coming from his personal history being a painful one in America, understandably, and rising above it, by the way, and he didn't respond to it by being a black on black violentor.
No,
he responded to it by elevating himself and running the greatest
Black Studies
the greatest
program,
universe.
by the way. Which, by the way, is revisionist history a lot of times, and it's
he's the president of Harvard.
Ingrained,
trust
of white people, if not a genuine dislike of white people.
Well, sure, again,
that 50 Cent really,
that really did. Yeah, see, and by the way, this is interesting because then here's this other one: is you're definitely colored, so to speak, by the fellow who asked you for 50 Cent. That was a fear that was put into you that you'll never forget. And I respect and understand that.
Yeah.
That's going to mean that you're going to see all these stories differently. When you see Barack Obama saying they acted stupidly, it just is a beeline in a synopsis firing path in your brain that goes right to that guy asking you for 50 Cent anytime, and that's deeply ingrained in you, and that's understandable.
50 Cent was the last time I ever saw
when Louis Gates Jr. sees a cop with his hand on the butt of the gun, saying, "Sir, I need you to step away from your own house." He just remembers. He remembers whites only signs and all that stuff, and it drives him crazy. And so that's just, everybody brings their own thing to it. I personally think that America's working remarkably well considering all that. It's considering all the wreckage of the history. It actually works pretty well.
The
fact that, look, the people in Iowa voted for Barack Obama. That means, whether or not he ends up being a great president, I think we're coming out on top of this. But it's complicated. It's a messy family.
I disagree.
My father came and stayed with me for a week. Well, 2 days. It felt like a week. It was 2 days. And my dad, I have such a up history with my dad. But I got through it. I got through these 2 days. I was like, hey, you know what? We made it.
We can do this.
Like, he's 72 now. I don't know how long he's got left. I'm not sure, how he's making it. He's had a tough life.
Yeah.
And so I got through the 2 days, but there were moments during those 2 days where he just said little things that I almost hit him in the face. I almost had to call 911 and go, "Hi, listen, I just killed my dad and I need someone to come over here.
Take care of my kids for me, please." I like his take on that whole.
No, but
I like it. It's
and I'm not saying that there's here's the thing. I say it's understandable that certain older black people have an edge on them because of history, and then you take it to that it's an excuse for violence and murder.
Well,
but it's not. But I'm not thinking of that, and I do. But and again, it's just really fascinating that's your perspective because of what's going on with you in your life.
It's not just my perspective on that. That's kind of simplistic because I gave you one example of something that happened, and then
it's the only one that matters.
But it isn't
the only one. It's
the one you went right.
If that
first moment with a black man.
If that was the only knowledge I'd had of that, it would have been a forgotten memory. But it's reinforced constantly by just this unbelievably
like when you buy
outlandish unbalance in violent crime, and
although
who's perpetrating it.
All of it has been informed by the first experience you had. And I'm not saying this is a flaw. This is how everybody
So
is.
I'm watching a black man pummeling an old white woman for her money on a video surveillance camera, and it's because of 50 Cent that I look at that. I should look at him like a gentleman.
No, and of
then
course,
what the fuck
of course not.
What
but
does 50 Cent have to do with the way I interpret that?
You started a collection that began with 50 Cent.
But I can't. I'm not collecting. I'm being given this.
Right.
People are throwing this at me as I see from surveillance videos.
You're being thrown a lot. You're being thrown. By the way, Louis Gates Jr. I think from what I know, and I was there. I'm just going to keep adding to the mess.
You were there.
I'm just going to keep adding to the fucking mess. I was there. I am Louis Gates Jr.
I knew it.
And when I saw that cop, no, he acted wrongly. No matter what. Look, I got pulled over by a cop recently, and I was with my kids. This cop was a dick.
Okay.
And he was a young man. That's the thing. That's the other thing that's like everything in your life adds to what's happening in your moment. The cop in this story was a young man. When you get older and you get pulled over by a 22-year-old who likes having a gun, it just bothers you. It just bothers you as a person.
See,
it
shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. Is absolutely right.
It bothers all of us, though.
When I got pulled over by this cop recently, I had my kids in the car, and I know he doesn't have kids, and I don't think there's certain people where they have a kid radar, like they just have a sense of there's kids here, that changes how you act, and some people are like, no, they don't. And then later they'll have kids and look back and go, oh, geez,
She have identification on her?
Yeah, exactly. He comes up to my car, two cops. I passed a guy. A guy was drifting into the left turn lane close to an intersection.
You don't have to make it sound good for me, Louis.
So I assume that he's going to make a left, so I move to the right of him, pass him on the right, and then he changes his mind and goes into a gas station.
Oh, shit.
On the right. Mm-hmm. So I get pulled over by two state troopers, like they needed two cars, and they come to each side, and they both have their hands. There's the hand on the gun thing is important, but some guys do it, civilly, and these guys look hostile, and my kids look
scared. Daytime or nighttime?
Daytime.
Okay.
Middle of the day. 9 in the morning.
Could they see you?
I'm very white. I'm driving an Infiniti, and it doesn't have spinning rims. There's no loud music.
Kids are scared.
I'm a balding white man.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And my kids are like, but Daddy, you're white. So the cop comes over and he goes, you know what you did. And I go, well, I'm not sure, honestly. You passed somebody on the right. And I go, oh, well, I thought he was going, like he did that. He had his blinker on. And I go, you know what, sir? I didn't see the blinker, but I assume you're probably right. I probably just had exercised some bad judgment. Like, I'm just trying to get to the ticket.
Right, get to the point.
What's with that inspection sticker? How come the hole isn't punched? I don't know. I went to a gas station and got yeah, you're supposed to have the hole punched. I go, was I supposed to punch it in my actual... he goes, he reaches in and rips he goes, this is coming with me, and rips my inspection sticker off.
Are you shitting me?
Which is putting me now in, like, I gotta drive around without a sticker till I get one.
That guy's a
He's being an
right.
But I still recognize that my role is respect the law, get the paperwork from him. Yes, sir. Get the paperwork.
And it looks like you got a headlight out, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess I shouldn't have had that headlight out, officer. I'm collecting information. I'm getting my paperwork. I'm going to go to court and I'm going to fight it, and I won't pay for these tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm driving around. Meanwhile, I got to worry about getting pulled over all the time because nobody has inspection stations upstate because the economy is shit. Yeah. And you go to a gas station and go, we don't do inspections anymore. Ripped it off.
What a
didn't
prick.
wait for me to explain anything to him or whatever. Just
that's just a cock.
But still, my role is to act respectful to police, and I'm sure that. So I think that Louis Gates acted. It's wrong to just start yelling. You just don't get to do that, even if you are in your own house, even if you're being arrested for doing nothing, even if you're being totally. No, he was right. It's not fair. But but I understand it. That's all. I understand. I empathize with.
He was being extremely belligerent to an officer who was, from what they say, and from certain radio transmissions, that was being as polite as possible to this gentleman, answering a call to a burglary in progress. He gets there, and then he's accused of being a racist, and then the professor starts talking about his mama and like that.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, too, though. It's like there's so many parts of this that are like part of the... This is such a... I think these kinds of things are always good. I think this is a positive thing because it's a conversation the whole country has. And talking about this kind of thing
this is what I was
pure positive. I think it's all good.
I was going to say this before. I don't think it is because I think it shows just how close to the surface all this is bubbling.
Of course,
and how it's just this fine veneer of spackle.
Yeah, but talking is better.
But it can't hurt to talk about it.
Talking is better than bubbling, and I think that it's important for people to know what it's like to be a guy like Louis Gates and what it's like to be like this cop and go into the morass of racism every time you answer any kind of a call. Must be very frustrating. But I always also think about Americans, entitled, rich, white, gun-owning Americans who just this castle. And house is
castle?
Yes.
Well, you're explaining.
Yes, you are completely describing
yes. Your house is your castle. That's right. Anyone walks in, steps on the lawn, you can shoot them in the mouth. Exactly.
Kablamo!
So in that context, a guy coming into your house and saying anything untoward, you're like, "Fuck you, you race faggot cop. Fuck your mother in the ass, you little faggot racist. Get off my property. I'm the president of Harvard, you little Irish South Boston prick." Go shove it in your mother's cunt. I don't care if you brought that basketball player back to life. You. I'm Louis Gates. I'm calling Brock right now. He's on my speed dial, you fucker. I get it. I get that.
Yeah?
I think if you were black, that's what you would say to a cop if he came in your property. Or you just shoot him.
No, I would be very cordial. I would be the pull myself up by my bootstraps kind of a guy. And,
that's what he was. He's like, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, and I still get arrested for having a jammed door. It's from Louis Gates Jr.'s point of view. It's a complete outrage. I get it.
Life is short. Life is very short. I like life. I like it. I feel like even if it ends up being short, I got lucky to have it because life is an amazing gift when you think about what you get with a basic life. Not even a particularly lucky life or a healthy life. If you have a life, here's your boilerplate deal with life. This is basic cable. What you get when you get life. You get to be on Earth. First of all, oh my God, what a location. This is Earth, and for trillions of miles in every direction, it sucks so bad. It's so that your eyes bolt out of your head because it's so bad. You get to be on Earth and look at it, as long as you're not blind or whatever it is. You get to be here. You get to eat food. You get to put bacon in your mouth. I mean, when you have bacon in your mouth, it doesn't matter who's president or anything. You just, Every time I'm eating bacon, I think I could die right now, and I mean it. That's how good life is. You get to fuck. That's free if you're smart. That comes with. That's part of the deal. Where else are you gonna get that deal? You get to put your in there and go in and out. Pretty good. And if you're a woman, you get to just lay back and just have it just shoving in and out of you awkwardly. Anytime you want. Anytime you want. If you're a gay man, you get to just fill your boyfriend's ass with your Just fill it all the way to the balls. and it's nice and warm and tight in there, and he's your buddy. If you're a lesbian, you get to do all the stuff they're doing. And, it's a great deal. You get to eat, you get to fuck, you get to read To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a great life.
He's just different because I can imagine people saying to Kubrick, you know, you're not really letting us into Jack as a human being. And then Kubrick just said, get away from me. Get away from me.
Yeah.
People must have said it to him. Like, we're not, the wife is strange. What you're asking Shelley to do, by the way, her hair is falling out because she's losing her mind playing this woman.
Yeah.
Because it's not a person, it's not a human being.
Badly.
And he said, do me a favor, Dorothy, get the fuck away, get in the other room. Whoever said this to him, he said, just get the fuck away from me. I'm doing this. You go do that in another movie.
Well,
I'm gonna do, and in fact, they did. Stephen King made it again. Who gives a shit what Stephen King thinks of The Shining? The Shining has nothing to do with Stephen King, who I think is a really cool writer. It's a whole other category. But Kubrick takes whatever thing. He's like, here's a New York Times magazine, this article. I'm gonna make a movie about it, and he just makes it. He decides, I'm not doing the thing that you want me to do. I'm not doing a father who changes. Don't, it's boring. It's done. It's been done 1,000 times. So what? It's a very good way to make a movie. Go watch one. There's many. He's like, I'm making the movie from the point of view of the house and from the point of view of The Shining. That's the main character is horrible, strange, mysterious, knowing too much, chilling, Shining is the main character. Jack's not the main character, and neither is she. She is annoying. Like, you want her to
die.
Get the hatchet to the head. Well, it's not supposed to be a horror movie.
Well,
it's not. There is no prescription that movie fills. You don't get a prescription that you go here and they go, oh no, we don't have Friday the 13th. We'll give you The Shining. It's not a generic. For Friday, like when you go to get Prozac and it's really Lexamil or whatever the fuck. This is from an abstract point of view of fear. The movie's point of view is fear, or whatever the fuck. I can't put it to words because it's just suggested. It's who's following the kid when he's in the tricycle. That's not even from the kid's point of view. It's from the point of view of this presence and the poster of the naked lady behind Scatman Crothers. This is Stanley Kubrick's idea of what a black man's Florida apartment is like. I'm so much more interested in his bent ideas than I am in someone who's like, no, I'll show you what this would be like, and I'll give you these feelings, manufacturing feelings. And by the way, I'm not putting down that kind of filmmaking. Some of my favorite movies, Goodfellas, a lot of my favorite movies are totally reliable structures, and you can see how they work. But he was doing something else. I do think that Nicholson is up. I think that Kubrick thought it was more interesting to make a movie where, by the way, the whole world is a little strange. The doctor who interviews Danny after he passes out is weird. And then the mother with the cigarette with the ash.
Everyone's weirdly
dropped.
Yeah,
right.
It's insane. And the guy with the giant hair who interviews him, and the way they walk through the place, and it's so up. There's barely a difference between the people that actually work in the hotel and Floyd and the ghosts. But that's where the place is like people in. I mean, the ghost, it's the building's point of view. The building reaches out to Scatman Crothers across and makes him come from all the way from Florida. That's not your basic horror movie stuff. His movies are not about human
He's not
beings.
a humanist.
They're about ideas.
Yes. Exactly.
Even Barry Lyndon, which is named after a guy, it's not about Barry Lyndon. It's a strange movie about human failure and the loserdom and like the loathsomeness of human beings. There is a stilted, ugly feeling in that room that is familiar to my generation in terms of domestic dialogue. There is a distance and an ugliness that I feel. The other thing about Nicholson in this movie is that this movie was just so iconic in his acting, that in that character that he created, that he messed up the rest of history, the future for itself. It's a movie that you saw when it came out and you're like, what is this? Is crazy the way he's acting. That was the feeling in the 70s of couples that were a little bit strangers to each other and men that were a little dangerous. It's coming from somebody's gut who was a little bit not sane.
Well, sexual perversion is a problem. You can't stop it. People got to do what they got to do, and this country's pretty perverted. I mean, we have to jack off to everything. There's nothing that just gets. There's not like sex and then everything. Sex is in everything. You watch the news and there's a woman like telling you, and in Libya. I'm like, yeah, well, tell me about Libya. Fucking tell me about Libya. Say Libya again. Come on, fucking right up to the screen, my flat screen. Come on, say Libya again. It should just be a person in Libya, whatever. Why does it have to all be so sexualized? And music, like everything is like every musician is attractive. Isn't that a weird coincidence? That everyone who can play music also looks good? I would have thought there'd be like one ugly guy with a guitar who would be amazing, but zero. And there's like teen pop idols who are children. And they're on TV like going, it's a kid. And folks are jacking off to them. Folks. Just folks are jacking off. Well, folks are jacking off to the girls on TV. Some of them are really young. I can't think I don't know their names. I don't have that knowledge anymore. I'm too old. Britney Spears is like, when I think of a teen idol, is Britney Spears. That's how old up, because she's my age now. That's how long ago that was. She caught up to me. When I was 35, she was 18, and now we're both 44 years old. So that's how little I know about who these people are. We used to let kings take over for their fathers. That's the craziest rule that ever existed. That if the king dies, they let his kid be the king. What are the odds that he's not going to be a piece of shit? How do you let that... That's one of the weirdest things that we've ever done as a race of people. I mean, all of us. White people, I mean, there were black kings too. African countries. There's never been a black king of England. That's never gonna happen. That is one color line that's never gonna get... Don't even hope, man. It ain't gonna happen. There's not gonna be a black king of England. I mean, after all that white that's been pumped into their blood for years, they've just been this kind of jizzy white color for all these generations. Purpley. They're all... Every British royal looks like cock meat. That's what their faces... look like an Irish penis. That's what they look like. Someone took an Irishman's penis and stretched it out and drew a face on it with Sharpie. That's what they look like.